There will always be divisions on major policy issues in the United States. A politician does not create a division by, for example, being pro-life or pro-choice on the abortion issue. Divisions on that kind of issue already exist, and a politician has to say what side he or she is on. But even when those divisions exist and opinions are very strongly held by both sides, discourse can still be respectful of the other side's position on the policy issue. Unlike any president or presidential candidate in modern American U.S. history, Trump creates and magnifies divisions unnecessarily by going far beyond policy disagreements with his daily ad hominem personal attacks on those that criticize him, attempt to hold him to account, or are not servile enough to him. An example is falsely accusing the former Republican Congressman Joe Scarborough of murder after Scarborough criticized him. This was a baseless charge that had no reason for making it other than he wanted to punish Scarborough for criticizing him. I discussed that atrocious Trump attack, which he made while he was president, by the way, and a video which I will link in the more section below. These attacks are frequently vicious and substitute vicious name-calling and demonization for reasoned, factual, and informative discourse that one would expect from a president regardless of ideology. Trump's speech is what you would expect from a child in a schoolyard spat. He has cheapened political discourse necessary for a properly functioning democracy into juvenile and fact-free gibberish. Those factors and his bad character, which includes making over 30,000 false and misleading statements when he was president, has landed Trump dead last in the rankings of U.S. presidents compiled from historians that was released today. Trump's statements, particularly his tweets, will be around for a long time after we are all gone, and they will not fare well to future generations of Americans. I have lived long enough to see something that I thought at least, that I would never see, but somehow knew that I would given the circumstances. What did I observe that was so disheartening? A likely presidential candidate of the Republican Party hawking a $400 pair of gold garish sneakers designed in incredibly bad taste and called "We Shall Never Surrender" or something like that. Trump is a grifter and who will never give his victims an even break. This sneaker will likely end up being another product failure where some fool licensed Trump's name and his willingness to hawk anything for a buck. Maybe Trump sneakers will last longer than Trump steaks that discontinued its operation 2 months after its launch. Anyone remember Trump Vodka, Trump Mortgage LLC, that lasted about a year? GoTrump.com, a travel site that lasted about a year before closing. Anyone know where I can buy Trump the Game or Trump Magazine, which did not last for about 18 months before closing? Those kind of business failures are legendary with Trump, and you would think somebody confronted with them would maybe start to question his claim to be a genius businessman. And none of those kind of failures include his well-known 6 bankruptcies and the financial wreckage that he left behind with each one. Trump's Taj Mahal opened in April 1990 in Atlantic City, but 6 months later defaulted on interest payments to bondholders as Trump's finances went into tailspin. In July 1991, just slightly more than a year after its opening, the Taj Mahal filed for bankruptcy. What can you say? He could not keep up with debts on two Atlantic casinos, and those two properties declared bankruptcy in 1992. A fourth property, the Luxury Plaza Hotel in New York City, declared bankruptcy in 1992 after amassing debt as a result of Trump's involvement in acquiring that hotel. PolitiFact uncovered two more bankruptcies filed after 1992, which brings the total to 6. Trump hotels and casinos filed for bankruptcy again in 2004 after accruing about $1.8 billion in debt. Trump Entertainment Resorts also declared bankruptcy in 2009. In an article published in Newsweek on January 10, 2024, titled "Donald Trump's Scotland Golf Course Gives Him a New Financial Headache," details are provided on that money loser. The company lost $938,260 in 2022 and $886,134 in 2021. Newsweek noted that a financial disclosure made by Trump claimed that he earned as much as $550 million from his golf assets between January 2022 and April 14, 2023. I've not independently verified that number that I found in Newsweek. The New York Times, however, reported in an article published on September 27, 2020, that the 15 golf courses operated by Trump had lost more than $315 million over 20 years. The New York Times article is titled, quote, "Long Concealed Records Show Trump's Chronic Losses," end of quote. In a 2017 article published by the Washington Post titled "How Trump Has Made Millions by Selling His Name," which is in my opinion, his primary successful business, the Post found at least 50 different licensing or management agreements for property worldwide that bore his name. Trump or his owned entities do not actually own the foreign properties other than the golf course in Scotland that I previously discussed. However, listening to him talk about those international projects left me with the impression that he was taking the risk in developing them. This name licensing for real estate projects is going to end in the United States, I suspect. Maybe is already on the decline and may end soon, since they are located in major metropolitan centers where too many people do not want any association with the building with the Trump name on it. Trump is still able to license his name and apparently some management functions as well in Middle Eastern countries. One of the most recent licensing deals was with a Saudi Arabian company that was going to build a golf course, hotel, and thousands of residential units in Oman's capital.